G'day and welcome to another video with Better Picks. Hope this finds you all well. Today we're having a look at Lightroom and the Generative AI Removal Tool. So there's been some updates recently and look, it's looking really good. There's some fantastic outcomes with the Remove Tool, but let's see if it's going to stack up on the scale of things with many other options, particularly in Photoshop, available for removing unwanted objects. So we've got three images that we're going to have a look at today. The first one is of this surfer at sunrise looking out onto the ocean, as you can see on the right hand side there. Now if we head over to the erase tool or the remove tool, which is the shortcut H, as you would know, I'm a bit of a fan of shortcuts because they certainly help to make the whole process of editing your images and content far more efficient and quicker, so never a bad thing there. So as you can see, we've selected the remove tool here. We have the option for use generative AI and detect objects. We're actually going to switch those off for the moment. When you go into this tool, they'll be switched off by default, but we just want to look at what it looks like for the results without the generative AI. So what I'm going to do is just paint over that surfer, making sure that I've included all parts in there. You can see it's removing the area, and a bit of an interesting result there. Certainly doesn't look realistic or doesn't look to have done a very good job. So let's go back one step. Now let's click on use generative AI, and we're going to once again paint over that surfer, making sure that we cover all of them, and you can see that we've now got the option with generative remove to add or subtract from the selection that we've made. We're going to keep it as it is, and obviously we've got a tool adjustment size there as well that we can take advantage of. We're going to click remote. You see it'll be a little bit more of a process. Now this tool, it's important to remember that it is available regardless of whether or not you are working in the cloud or on your local hard drive up on the top left-hand corner there. All right, that first result looks incredibly good when compared to the previous option. Now with a lot of generative pro tools within the Adobe suite, we have three variations that we can choose from, and we're just going to click through those and have a look. Not too bad, not too bad. I think I like the first one. It just feels a little bit more realistic. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to have a look a little bit closer. Now this sort of image I think would lend itself well to mask what has become apparent with a lot of generative remove tools, where it just looks a little bit soft in terms of sharpness compared to other parts of the image. And you can see that it is, like, there's definitely more detail in this rock over here compared to these ones here, which are the ones that have been generated. But I would say looking at it from a bit of a distance, looking at the whole image, it generally would pass the realism test without question. The next image we're going to have a look at is this one. This is also on the Gold Coast. Looking at the sand pumping jetty with Surface Paradise and the Gold Coast in the distance there. We're going to go back to the remove tool, and we're going to take care of this sand pumping jetty, which is quite a lot to remove. There we go. We've painted over the top of it. We're not using AI in this instance, once again, just to have a bit of a comparison. And we seem to be getting those weird color artifacts that we got in the last image again. So not really a great outcome, and not one that I would certainly ever consider using or to try to pass off as real. If we click on the use generative AI button, and again we're going to paint over that jetty roughly the same. Excellent. Again, we can add and subtract that mask, and we're going to click on remove. Pretty good. Like, that looks really good. So it's a little bit interesting up here in the shallower parts. Again, we've got three options to choose from. That looks even better. Interesting to note that the waves that haven't crashed over, you can see the darker sort of sections of water where those waves are. It looks to be following those through in a pretty realistic way. And yep, that looks pretty good too. Let's just do a very quick zoom in. Again, it doesn't feel like You can see this is the non-generated area of the image, and there's definite sharpness there compared to the generated wash from a wave. So again, I mean, if you're looking at it from a distance, yep, okay, that looks pretty good. I probably wouldn't initially pick up on that. But if we zoom in, if you can imagine that this was printed to, half a meter or a meter wide, that would be, I think, pretty obvious for anybody that looks at the image with any level of detail. So look, overall, it's doing a really good job, and it's getting better and better when it comes to AI and removing objects. But I think we've still got a way to go, which, reflects the tests that we did with Adobe Camera Raw in my recent video. So, yep, looking good, but for now, I'm still going to reserve judgment that I think the results can definitely get better. All right, let's have a look at this last image. We've got a ferry moving through the Broadwater on the beautiful Gold Coast again. And we're just going to uncheck Generative AI, and we're going to paint. We're going to paint a little bit behind it as well to get that, to address that wake that you can see coming off the boat. And that's pretty good. Again, there's a bit of weird sort of smudgy looking stuff there in the water. We're just going to have a bit of a closer look. Yeah, that's not great at all. You can see clearly the definition of the water and the areas that it just hasn't been able to really create something that that looks realistic or usable. Let's go over to Generative AI. We're going to just go over that again, roughly the same area. And we're going to click Remove. Again, it works through the process. Couple of tips there to help you get your best results. Yep, that looks pretty good. Let's click through the options. That's not too bad. Yep, that looks pretty good. We're going to have a look at number 2 up close. So again, I'm just not convinced that, again, you can see the detail there, and we can see the line through here where I've made that selection, and it is definitely softer, without doubt. Granted, if you look at it from a distance, if that was a social media tile or a thumbnail or just an image that you pop up on social somewhere, probably wouldn't be too much of an issue. But that's not always the end use case for where our images could go. If you want to print it and put it on a wall, you really want to make sure that it looks really, really clean. All right, so that's some interesting results. As I said, results are getting better for the use of AI for removing unwanted objects, but I think, once again, very similar to results to Adobe Camera Raw the other day, where it's getting better, but I think there's still a way to go where it's realistic in terms of texture and sharpness and detail within the areas that are being generated by AI to remove objects. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, any questions, as always, are welcome in the comments below. Thanks for stopping by. I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.